Roy Morgan yesterday, again, Coalition 50.5, Labor 49.5, that on two-party preferred. Now, again, Sam, elections are a long way away, but we're now into the game about cost of living. Now, again, the government... post-referendum, Albo stands up and says, hey, there's this long list of achievements, go back to people and talk to them, right? Among them, the release of Chung Lei, right? Wonderful thing that took place, but I'm not entirely sure the suburbs are going to grind to a halt over that conversation. But the reality is that they're in a position right now, right? Got $20 billion surplus. They could cut fuel excess by 25 cents tomorrow. For 6 months, cost $3 billion, but they won't do it, right? Literally, the food insecurity stuff, they could turn around and cut a cheque for $250 million to Food Bank tomorrow, but they won't do it. They could turn around and say the low to middle income $1,500 that was there as an automatic tax return, well, we'll put it back for next year, or we'll reverse the decision for this year. They've got the buffer to do it, but they're just not doing it. Yet they're turning around and saying, oh, but we're doing something about cost of living. Well, for who?
Yeah, look, I guess to the point about the polls is you're absolutely right. The honeymoon ended, 6-8 months ago, but no one was really focused on that because everyone was thinking about The Voice. Now The Voice is gone and clearly the honeymoon has ended. This happens in first-term governments. If you think back to, every first-term government around this point, now's where the rubber really hits the road. And that's
because you've run out of reviews.
Well, yeah.
Or commissions in this government.
But the reality of governing sets in. You think back all the way to John Howard's first government that, everyone now holds up as this amazing government. Frankly,
he almost lost the first election.
Well, yeah, and he survived, right? He was the last opposition leader that survived his first term. So that period, this period that we're in now, is fraught with danger. And yes, I sincerely hope that Albanese does have a reboot in his bottom drawer that he's going to pull out. And hopefully, I work for Vinnie's, right? So all those things that you say is music to my ears. Hopefully he and Jim Chalmers do pull out a cost of living package in addition to the stage 3 tax cuts and says, here it is. Here's what we're going to help with. Here's what we're going to do.
Rita, that cost of living issue, right? Now automatically the way Labor will play is that as they did, Amanda Rishworth, I think the Social Services Minister, stands up there and says, by the way, I like when we couple dress like this, it's nice, is that they turn around and say...
I like you both in red.
We've increased the dole by $56 over 2 weeks, right? Every fortnight. Well, that's not really going to change anyone's life, right? But of course, it's hundreds of millions of dollars that decision makes. And it's that disconnect between the Canberra decisions where they say, well, we moved over $100 million this way, so everyone, the rising tide helps all boats. Reality is, it's middle-class families that aren't taking anything from the government, that are ones that are paying an awful lot more tax, but also are the ones having to walk up and down the aisles of the supermarket finding ways to save money, the ones that may well have said, you know what, time to vote for the guy who's going to cut the power by $275. Instead, it's up through the roof. So unless he's thinking about firing every shot he's got, I don't think there's a way out of this straitjacket that he's created for himself.
Well, no, and his own policies are adding to that pressure. Let's not forget that the fact that their obsession with net zero, and the cost that has to the economy, to manufacturing, to households, is significant, and that is putting enormous pressure on households. And you've got people who've got mortgages who've seen 11 interest rate rises in a fairly short period of time, so their mortgage payments have in some cases doubled. That money is going to be very difficult and very tight, and I think we're starting to see that mortgage stress now. People have perhaps absorbed that, dipped into their savings, but at some point the pain's really going to hit, and I think we're there now, and they really have no plans to improve matters. If anything, we're going to see energy costs continue to rise as they go down this net zero obsession. And this is an opportunity for the coalition, like The Voice, to actually give the electorate a clear choice, to abandon their net zero strategy. And I don't know if they want to embrace nuclear, if they want to embrace all the natural resources we have, whether it's gas, coal, I don't care, but come up with something that is logical, that is rational, that is evidence-based and focused on reliability and cost, not emission targets. And I think you will get a lot of those Labor seats that are wavering. And the coalition has got to stop thinking about those affluent inner city teal seats and look at the suburbs and the regional areas. That's their future.